Hi, I'm Judy with Amazing Trails Hot Mandala, a heated circular flow, which is also very good cognitive exercise because we really have to concentrate and think and use our brains. Make sure that you stay hydrated. Drink a tall glass of water beforehand. Have a towel handy to wipe your brow, wipe the sweat off of you so you don't slip and slide. If you feel at all dizzy or lightheaded, stop. Open the window, open the door, cool off. And we'll have a whole lot of fun. We'll go from side to side, and then go all the way around. And it's something different. And come and join us. We're coming to stillness in a Sukhasana cross-legged position with your hands on your knees. And we're starting to go from side to side. We're looking over our right shoulder, center, left shoulder, center. We're starting off side to side before we do the complete mandala all the way around. Side to side. When you come to the center, let your chin drop, and we're going from ear to ear, right in the front, side to side. A good way to start. And then we go all the way around, one time around, nice and slow, complete mandala. Coming to center, we'll look over your left shoulder, center, your right shoulder, center, left, center, right. Nice stretches on your neck, opening up your neck. You can move your body. It does not have to be isolated. Now you're looking to the center. Drop your chin and bring your ear to your shoulder, side to side. Just warming up our neck. I'm feeling pretty warm already. This wood stove is really cranked up to the max. And now we're coming all the way around like we will with this mandala flow. And looking straight ahead, take your right elbow up and around like a backstroke, a crawl. Going backwards, you can move your body. And coming forward, as if we're swimming, a little crawling. And on the other side, bring your left arm around, opening up your rotator cuff, your shoulders, and coming the other way around. You feel like I'm swimming, I could jump into a pool about now. Wait till we really get going. And we're coming into the both arms like a backstroke. Around, and then we'll bring our arms forward. You can start moving your spine a bit more. And take your hands to your knees. We're going to do a seated cat-cow. You inhale, your shoulder blades back, your chest forward. Exhale into cat. Your navel comes towards your spine, arching your back. Inhale and cow. Exhale and cat. Utilize your spine. We can move with this. Inhale. And exhale. Very nice. With your hands on your knees, we're going to do some nice hip circles one way. Just move your body with it. Opening up, getting ready for a circular flow, mandala. And the other way. Going round and round. It's really good for your brain, some cognitive exercises because you really have to think. And coming to stillness, take your feet, the soles of your feet to the mat. Your arms come through your legs and your elbows are opening up your knees for a nice stretch. Could lean forward a bit, straighten your right leg, your left elbows on your left knee. You can lean forward. And coming back up, extend your left leg out to the side. Your right elbow pushes your right knee open a bit. And coming back, take your hands to the back side of your knees. We're coming up into our first balance. And we're making nice foot circles one way. And the other way. Good, bringing our feet down. We'll fishtail our feet over to the side, coming into a downward dog. Take a nice breath in downward dog. And walk your feet to your hands. We're in a forward fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. Take your hands behind, connect to your behind. We're hinging at the hips. We're coming all the way up, nice and slow. Bring your arms up overhead, interlace your fingers. We're leaning over to the right in candlestick pose, coming up, leaning to the left. Coming back up, we're bending our legs at the knees. We're coming into chair. Make sure you can see your toes over your knees. We'll lean forward and take your left foot back. You could drop it to the mat or keep it extended in an airplane pose. Unravel your hands. You bring your hands around behind you. Interlace your fingers again. Rest them on your back. And slowly drop your foot to the mat. Very nice. You're coming up, inhaling up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Your heel could be up. If you need, you could put it on the mat for balance. Exhale down. Inhale up. If your heel is not already up, you drop your heel to the mat. And we're coming down into a humble warrior. Your right shoulder's on the inside of your right knee. Extending your arms up. Take a nice stretch. Unlacing your hands. We'll place our hands on either side of the mat. Adjust yourself. Maybe you can bring your left foot back a little ways. Drop your knee to the mat. Come to the top of your left foot. And your right arm comes around to the right. Look over your right shoulder. Touch the back of your left thigh. Could maybe bend your left leg if that is accessible to you. Give it a nice little tug. You could maybe pull on your pants, whatever you like. Drop your foot back to the mat. We're coming around into Skandasana. Just a little tease. We're not going all the way around yet. We're practicing side to side. Back into the lunge, dropping your knee. Bring your right arm around behind you. Touch the back of your thigh. Again, maybe you can bend your leg. This will come in handy later, as you'll see. And looking over your right shoulder, we're scooching our bottoms over and we're sitting down. So you might have to make some adjustments. Your right leg is crossed over. Right arm comes behind, left arm around. We're coming into a nice spinal twist. Looking over your right shoulder. I felt a little pop. It felt really magnificent. Looking back toward your feet, we'll take our front hand, which is your left hand, and the pinky toe side of your right foot. Will connect them. Straighten your right leg as your right arm comes around behind you in half Lord of the Fishes. And bending your right leg, we'll bring your right arm around, touch your third eye to your knee. And this is the time you might want to stop, get a drink, take the towel, Maybe you could wipe your brow. Maybe you could scooch forward a little bit as you lean back onto your back. Your left leg comes up and you're using the momentum to bring it around. Bend your left leg and just lunge back into the downward facing dog. Take a nice breath. And we'll walk our feet up to our hands into Uttanasana, forward fold. Take your arms behind, on your behind, and we're hinging at the hips, coming up, bringing our arms up and around. Interlace your fingers, lean to the left, and up, lean to the right. And up, we're coming into a chair. From chair, we're leaning forward into airplane as your right leg comes up behind you. Again, you could put it directly on the mat or stay in this warrior 3 type pose. Unlace your fingers, bring them around behind you, interlace them again. They're resting on your back. Drop your right foot if it is not already down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Your torso is on your knee, or your thigh rather. Arms on your back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. On the exhale down, you're dropping your right heel to the mat. Your left shoulder comes to the inside of your left knee. We're coming into a humble warrior. Crown of the head toward the mat. Your arms are up toward the sky, straightened. Nice breath. Unlace your fingers and put them on either side of your left foot. Adjust yourself in this low lunge. We could drop our knee to the mat, come to the top of your foot. Very lovely. Take your left hand and bring it around. Look over your left shoulder and touch the back of your right thigh. Maybe you could bend your foot, grab it. You don't have to. This is optional. Maybe the pant leg, whatever you could reach. Dropping it down to the mat. We're coming around into a Skandasana. Just a little tease because we're coming around again to your left side. Whoops, your left hand touches the back of your left thigh. Maybe you could bend your foot if you like. Completely optional. And then we're going to keep going with our hips. Scooch over a bit so that your right foot is in front, your left foot is crossed. Bring your right arm around, your left arm is behind. Look over your left shoulder. A lot of cognitive work with this mandala routine. Really good for the brain. So good to work the brain and the body at the same time. Look towards your feet. Take your right hand, which is in front. Grab the pinky toe side of your left foot. Straighten your left leg. Your left arm comes around behind you. Half Lord of the Fishes. And we're crossing our left. Oh, we're bending our left leg. Very nice. Take your third eye to the knee. And now's the time. Get a drink. Open the window if you need to, if it's getting too hot. Dry off. Maybe you could scooch a little forward because we're coming down onto our back. Our right foot comes up with momentum. We're coming up and around, and we're bending our legs so that we come back any way you can into the downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, take a nice breath. And we come into a plank, high plank, down chaturanga. Upward facing dog on all 10 toenails connected to the mat. And downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we walk our feet up to our hands into a forward fold. Take your hands onto your behind, interlace your fingers, and we're coming into a forward fold with your hands up over your head. And bringing our arms around behind you, unlacing your fingers till we come all the way up, lace them again. We lean to the right, and we lean to the left. As we said in the beginning, we're going to go side to side, and then all the way around. So we come down into Utkatasana, chair. We lean forward, take your left leg back behind you. Again, it can touch the mat. Or you could balance, unlace your hands, your fingers, bring them around behind you. Interlace them again, and we drop our left leg to the mat. Inhale, coming up. Maybe you could straighten your front leg. Bend it at the knee, exhale down. Your arms are right on your back. Inhale, coming up. Maybe you could straighten your right leg. Bend it at the knee as we exhale down. Resting your torso on your thigh. Inhale, coming up. We might want to straighten so we can get a little deeper. Drop your left heel to the mat if it's not already down. Bending at the knee, we're coming forward with our right shoulder to the inside of our right thigh. We're coming into the humble warrior. Very nice. Take a nice breath. Unlace your fingers, bring them to either side of your right foot. You can adjust yourself, bring your left foot back a little bit. Drop your knee to the mat, come to the top of your foot. Take your right hand around so that it connects with the back of your left thigh. Again, you could bend your leg at the knee if you like, grab a hold of it. Letting it go, we come around into Skandasana. And no another tease or keep going side to side before we practice going around. So you're coming back into the lunge, your right arm comes around behind you. Again, maybe you want to bend your leg at the knee. You don't have to, that is completely optional. And now bring your right hip over your left leg so that we're in the seated position, seated spinal twist. Your left arm comes around, look over your right shoulder. Take a nice breath. Looking at your feet, your left hand is in front. You're taking the pinky toe side of your right foot, extending it. You're coming back into the half Lord of the Fishes. Very nice. And coming forward, keep your left hand right where it is. Your third eye comes to your knee. This is the time to get a towel, a drink. Open the window if it's too hot, whatever you need to do for yourself. For myself, I'm scooching a little bit forward. And we're coming down onto our backs. Utilize your right forearm and you come down. Your left hand is still attached to the pinky toe side of your right foot. You're extending your leg up to the sky. Your right arm can come out to a T and you're going to do a reclined spinal twist. Bring your right foot over to the left. It doesn't have to touch the ground. Should feel good. I don't want to spill my water. Looking over your right shoulder. I like doing stretches right in the middle of the videos instead of just saving them all for the end. And you're looking at the sky, bringing your right foot up. My pants attached to the water. Take your right hand to the big toe side of your foot. Your left arm comes out to a T, and you're bringing your right foot over to the side. It doesn't have to come all the way to the ground. We're focusing on your hips being up toward the sky, not turning to the side. So it does not matter how far over you come. We're certainly in no competition, even with ourselves. Enjoying the nice stretch, the good hip opener. Bringing your right leg back up to the sky. We're bending it at the knee. Grab a hold of your knee. Lift your left leg up and use the momentum to come up and around into a downward facing dog, facing the other side. Take a nice breath in downward dog. We come forward into plank, and we're dropping down into chaturanga. Upward facing dog, feel all 10 toenails on the mat. And downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we walk our feet up to our hands. We're in a forward fold, Uttanasana. Take your arms behind, onto your behind. Interlace your fingers, and we're bringing our arms up overhead. Coming back into the forward fold. And hinging at the hips, we're making our way up, unlacing our fingers, lacing them up again when they come to the front. Candlestick, we lean to the left. Coming up, we lean to the right. Coming up, we're bending our legs at the knees into Utkatasana chair. We lean forward and take your right leg back. Again, it could be touching the mat, or you could be in the balance, the airplane, warrior 3. Unlace your fingers, bring them around behind you to lace them again. And we drop our back leg to the mat. Inhale up. You could straighten your left leg. Exhale down, bending at the knee. Your torso comes to your thigh. Inhale up. We straighten our leg. Exhale down, bending at the knee. Inhale up, and simultaneously we drop our right heel to the mat. If it's not already down, it's okay if it is. Bend your left leg. We're coming into the humble warrior. Very nice. Take a nice deep breath. Unlace your hands and bring them to either side of your foot. You could bring your right foot back a bit. And we drop our knee to the mat, come to the top of your foot. We've done this before. Your left hand comes around behind you to the left. Touch the back of your right thigh. You could maybe bend your leg, optional if you like. And then we come around into the T Skandasana. We're almost ready to practice the second half going around. And we come around again. Take your left hand to the back of your right thigh. Bend your leg if that is in your practice. If not, that's perfectly fine. Keep your left hand on the back of your right thigh, and you're bringing your left hip over. Scooch over a bit so that your left knee is up and your left leg is crossed over your right. Take your right hand around, looking over your left shoulder. Your left hand is back. Nice seated spinal twist. Looking towards your feet, we'll take our right hand to the pinky toe side of your left foot. Straighten your left leg. Your left arm comes around behind you into the half Lord of the Fishes. Keeping your right hand on your pinky toe side of your foot. We're bending our leg at the knee. Our third eye can come down to our knee. Again, take a drink if that's good for you. Anything you need to do. Do not overheat. Do not dehydrate yourself. Make sure you get plenty to drink. Whatever you need, I'm going to scooch forward a bit. And you're coming down. Utilize your forearm of your left arm. Coming down, I'm not letting go with my right hand to the pinky toe side of my left foot. So I straighten my leg. My left arm is coming out to the side as a T, and I'm bringing my left foot over. Nice reclined spinal twist, looking over my left shoulder. Should feel really nice. Our muscles are certainly warmed up with this heated yoga. You could do this whether you want to turn the heat up higher or not. I know the price of fuel, you might not want to. I understand. Looking up, we're bringing our left foot up. We'll exchange arms so that your left hand comes to the big toe side of your left foot. Right arm comes out to a T. Keeping your hips looking up at the sky. We're bringing our left foot over. Does not matter if it's way up here. That's great. It doesn't matter at all. If you're holding on to your calf, your pant leg, whatever, just modify, do what you want. That's the glory of YouTube. That we could do what we want. We're not self-conscious. We're in our own homes. Maybe you're doing it with a friend. And bring your left foot back up. Your right arm comes to meet. You could bend your left leg. Maybe grab a hold of the knee. Your right leg can come up and use the momentum to come up and around into the downward facing dog. Take a nice breath in downward dog. And exhale. Looking up between our hands, you're going to lunge your right foot up, and we're coming to the second half so that we go all the way around. We're coming into this mandala. So this is Skandasana, the lateral lunge that we've been teasing you about. Bring your hands down to the mat. You could straighten your right leg. You might want to bring the blocks around. So you might use them, you might not. And you're taking your hands, interlacing your fingers again. Bend your legs. We're coming up, 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 coming around. We're coming into a goddess pose. Very nice. From goddess, I'm going to my left side. I'm going to utilize the block that's on my left side, and I'm coming right up into a half moon. You could stay like this. You could bend your leg like we were. Maybe grab a hold of your foot. Give it a nice tug. Coming back into the half moon. And then we're squaring off our hips to the front of the mat, or the side of the mat, however way you look at it. We are in a standing split. You could use your block if you need to bring the floor closer to you. We come into a split squat and bring your leg back into the standing split, and your right leg comes down to meet your left, not for very long, as you lift your left foot up. Again, you could be using the block at any height, even the taller one, whatever works for you. I think I'll use the lower one. Come into the split squat. And now you're taking your right hand on the block or the mat and lifting up your left leg and your left arm. We're coming into the half moon, looking the other way. Bend your leg at the knee, grab a hold of it. If that is in your practice, you certainly don't have to. can let go. And we're coming into the goddess pose. Interlace your hands, coming around all the way up, back into the goddess. And we're doing the same on the left side, leaning forward. Take your left hand to the block. Whatever works for you. Lift up your right arm and your right leg. Good. Coming all the way around. Bend your leg at the knee. Grab a hold of it. Whoops. If you fall, you're not falling from very far up. Letting go. Very, very nice. Bring your right arm down to the block. We're squaring off our hips to the back of the mat or the side, whatever you look at it. We are in a standing split. Come down to a split squat. Back up into the standing split. And our right foot meets our left as we lift our left leg up. Split squat. And right into the half moon. Again, we can bend our leg at the knee, grab a hold of it. Letting go, whatever you like. And we're bending down. Take your hands to the side. Bring them all the way around. And we come into goddess. Take your hands together. Come around. We're facing the other direction. We're in a lunge. Very, very nice. And we'll go right into Skandasana and we'll work our way around the other side. And then we'll put the entire mandala together. So we certainly practice this enough. We're coming around that way to the right. So interlace your fingers. Oh, not yet. Put your hands on the mat. Straighten your left leg. Now we're interlacing, coming up and around into the goddess. Take a nice breath. Anytime you need to get a drink, just put it on pause. Leaning to the right. We're bringing our left foot up, our left hand. Can maybe grab a hold. Our left arm comes up. We square our hips to the side of the mat. Come into a split squat. Back into the standing split, and our left meets our right as our right picks up. We come into the the split squat, back into the standing split, and opening up into half moon. If this is in your practice, bend your leg. If not, no big deal. Now bring your right hand down to the side as we come into the Skandasana. We're coming around, up and around. We come into the goddess. Come forward with your right hand, up into the half moon. Again, you could bend your leg at the knee. Don't have to. You might want to try it. Extending up. We square off our hips so our left hand comes down to the mat. We're in a standing split. Split squat. Standing split. Our feet come together. We lift up our other leg, your right leg. Split squat with your left hand on the mat. We're coming into the half moon. Bend your leg at the knee if you like. Back up. And we're dropping it. Our hands come down to the mat in Skandasana. We can come forward. And we're in a lunge position. And before we go into the downward facing dog and do the whole mandala, you might want to take a drink. This is hot yoga, heated yoga. We need to drink a lot. My water's a little warm. And maybe take your towel if you're getting sweaty and slippery. You don't want to have any accidents, especially if you have shorts on and your legs are attached and you're sliding your hand down your leg. We don't want that to happen. Okay, so we're going to do this whole thing together, this mandala flow. Have some fun with it. So we start in a downward facing dog. We come forward into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog on all 10 toenails. Our knees are up, shoulder blades back, and we come over the tops of our feet into a downward facing dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. Your hands come around to your behind. Interlace your fingers. And we're coming into a forward fold uttanasana. Your arms come up overhead. Maybe you could straighten them. And we're coming all the way up. Interlace your fingers again in front. We come into, this must look familiar, we come into candlestick side to side. Looking straight ahead, we'll bend our legs at the knees. We come forward into the warrior 3 airplane pose. You could drop your knee to the mat, whatever you like. Unlace your fingers, bring them around behind you. And drop your foot if it's not already dropped. We're dropping our left heel to the mat. Come up. And our right shoulder comes to the inside of our right knee into humble warrior. Take a nice breath. Unlace your fingers. We're coming into the lunge. Come to the top of your knee, top of your foot. Your right arm comes around behind. Touch the back of your right thigh. And we come around. No more ATs into Skandasana. Your hands are down on the mat. We straighten our leg. Interlace your fingers and bring them up and around, around and around into goddess. Look over your left side, leaning forward. Take your left hand maybe to the block, and we're coming up into half moon. Again, you could bend your leg at the knee if you like, if that is in your practice. If not, no big deal. Squaring off your hips, we're coming into a standing split, a split squat behind you. You could use a block or not. Your right leg comes back into the standing split, and your right foot meets your left as your left foot comes up in standing split. A split squat, standing split. I'm going to put my right hand on the block as my left arm comes up and around into half moon. I'm going to bend my leg, whatever suits you. Back up to the sky, bending my leg. I'm coming down into Skandasana, coming around. My fingers are interlaced, coming up and around into goddess. And we'll do that on the left side. Take your left hand to the block or whatever you use. Coming up into the half moon. Bend your leg if that is in your practice. Back into the half moon. Drop our right hand down to the floor or the mat. Square off your hips in standing split. Split squat. Standing split, and our right foot meets our left as your left foot comes up. Standing, our not standing split anymore. We're in a split squat. Now again, standing split with your left leg. I'm putting my right hand on the block as I open up. There we go. And I'm dropping down into the Skandasana. I'm interlacing my hands and coming around back into the lunge, and we're coming into our downward facing dog. Take a nice breath. And we'll do that all the way around Mandala on the other side. So we come into plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog on all 10 toenails, our knees are up, and downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, walk your feet to your hands. Bring your arms around behind you, interlace your fingers, and we come back into the forward fold with our hands up over our heads. Maybe our arms are straight. Hinging at the hips or unlacing our fingers as we bring them around. Interlace them again all the way up in candlestick. We lean to the left, coming up, lean to the right, coming up. We bend our legs at the knees into chair, Utkatasana. Leaning forward, take your right leg back into warrior, airplane warrior, or it could be down on the mat. Unlace your fingers, they go around behind you. Drop your right foot to the mat if it's not already down. We're coming up, you're dropping your right heel to the mat, unless it already was, which is fine. Coming into the humble warrior. Crown of our head toward the mat, arms up to the sky. Can you believe this is a resting pose? Unlace your fingers, bring them to either side of your left foot. You're adjusting your back leg a little bit back. You could drop your knee and the top of your foot to the mat. Your left arm comes around behind you. Touch the back of your right thigh and come around into Skandasana for real. The mandala flow. Your hands come down to the mat, straighten your left leg, interlace your fingers as you're coming up and around. Open up into goddess. And we're going to go all the way around again, the mandala. On the other side, we're leaning to the right. Your right hand can come down on the mat or on the block, whatever's good for you, into our half moon pose. Bend your leg at the knee if you like. A little fun with that. Coming back up. Bring your left hand down to the block or the floor, squaring off our hips. We're in a standing split. Your left foot comes behind your right in a split squat. We come back into the standing split. Our left foot meets our right as we bring our right foot up and back, standing split. A split squat. We come back up. I'm putting my left hand on the block as I bring my right arm up, opening up my hips to the side in a half moon pose. Bend your leg at the knee if you like to grab a hold of your foot. Your choice. Your right arm comes back up to the sky, bending your leg. We're coming into the Skandasana, coming all the way around, up, and goddess. From goddess, we're looking over our right shoulder, leaning forward. My right hand comes down to the block. I pick up my left foot. I'm in a half moon. Last half moon, you could bend your leg. Maybe you want to try it. Releasing. Squaring off our hips. Your left hand meets your right. We're in a standing split. A split squat. Lift up your left leg again. Your left foot meets your right foot as you pick up your right foot into a standing split. Split squat. Our left hand comes to the block. We come into the half moon. Maybe for the last time you might want to grab your foot. Maybe not. You're bending your leg at the knee. We're coming into the Skandasana. Walk your hands over to the front and we're coming into a straddle fold. We did the mandala. I am so proud of you. That's complicated. Very good cognitive exercise, brain work. Fun, challenging. It's really good to be in this inverted pose. To bring your hands forward and heel toe. Heel your feet together so that we're in the squat like we started with. Your elbows can push your knees out to the sides. Shouldn't be too difficult now. And we could make our way down, sitting down. Take your right leg out to the side. And again, your elbow pushes your knee open. Could lean forward maybe a little bit more than we did in the beginning of the practice. Maybe you could drop your chin toward the floor. And coming up, your feet are on the floor. You're straightening your left leg. Your right elbow's pushing your knee open. Just like we did in the beginning, winding down. Maybe you could drop your chin toward the mat, toward the floor, the ground. Coming up. And then we went into the balance with our feet. This time you're going to grab your toes or the pinky toe side of your feet, your calves, whatever you can. We're coming up into a full balance. Again, you can be holding anything. Your legs don't have to be straight. They could be like this. You could be any way you like. If you want to try to come down into the straddle without releasing your feet, you're flexing your feet back. You're going to land on your calves, not on your heels. That would hurt. So you're flexing your feet back and you're leaning forward and you're coming down onto your calves. If you like, we could try that again. You can come down any way you like. You could come like this. Does not matter, but we'll try it again from a balanced position. Flexing, 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 and we're leaning forward and coming right down onto your calves. Very nice. From this, we could come into a forward fold. You don't have to come down quite so far. You could come on your blocks, anything you like. You really earned it. That was a lot of work. I know. Bring your left foot around to meet your right. We'll come into a forward fold, Paschimottanasana. Your feet are flexed and you're hinging at the hips. Where have we heard that today? Coming down, your third eye comes down toward your shins. You don't have to come down this far. You can put your forehead on a block. Does not matter. And you're coming up. We're going to come back onto our forearms like we did. You're sticking your chest up toward the sky. Crown of your head maybe meets the mat. Nice backward bend. Maybe you could point your toes. Lovely, lovely. Coming up, you bend your legs at the knees. Come down onto your backs. Bring your third eye to both knees. We were bringing them just to one knee earlier, now to both. Just think of all you've accomplished just now. And we're releasing, we're coming down. Take one leg out at a time. Let your feet splay open to the sides. Bring your arms up behind your head. Make a little basket and maybe give your head a couple little nice tugs to elongate your neck. And then we drop our head down to the mat. Our arms come around, our palms are up to the sky. We're coming into Shavasana. Take some nice breaths. Cooling down now. Should feel great. I'm so proud of you for sticking this out. Using your brains. Mandala goes all the way around. We started side to side, side to side. Then we went all the way around in both directions. You kept up with me. I kept up with you. You could stay in this as long as you like or make little wrist circles, ankle circles one way, the other way. You could come over to your side, make your way up to Sukhasana where we started, any way you like. And make sure you subscribe to Amazing Trails Yoga for more. We do have a lot of fun, a great variety. When the weather's nice, we're outside. Right now it's January, winter time in the Northeast. Pretty cold, too cold to be outside. So we're having a nice hot yoga. And have a beautiful, beautiful day. See you again. Namaste.